Russia, everyone, welcome to The Hype. I'm Yang Xinmeng, coming to you live from the heart of Moscow with a nice, super great city view as a background. Well, as China's President Xi Jinping is paying a state visit to Russia, as well as attending the ceremonies of the 80th anniversary of Soviet Union's victory in the Great Patriotic War. But today, we're not looking back. We're going to look forward through the eyes of a young generation. Now, you won't hear official words or textbook definitions. What you will hear is real voices. Young people think seriously or sometimes playfully about what connection, culture, cooperation really mean in a rapidly changing world. Now, today we have three amazing guests joining us on the table. Why don't you introduce yourself to our audience?
Okay.
Anna?
So my name is Anna Shirinkina. I'm the press secretary and the expert of platform Digoria.
Welcome.
My name is Alexei Melnin. I'm the co-founder of the Center for International Interaction and Cooperation and member of the expert club Digoria.
Hello everyone, hello dear friends. My name is Maria Prokofyeva. I'm Alexei's colleague, co-founder of the Center for International Interaction and Cooperation, and as well as a member of the Digoria Expert Club.
Welcome everyone. So happy to have all of you joining us today.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
It's a nice place here in Moscow. I'm so excited to be here. It's my first time here in Russia.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, and I think we can invite all the viewers to the Moscow. Please come any day. We would be glad to see you here.
All right, so first let's talk about this term. We keep hearing the multipolar world, not the academic definition, but like your personal one. As young political thinkers, what does it mean to you when we say the world is not leading by a single power anymore?
Well, I've been studying multipolarity a lot as a political scientist, but for me, to my mind, to my heart, it's more about mutual respect. It's more about some countries that for years have been colonized, have been oppressed, have been diminished, and now they're starting to have their own voice in the global arena, and their opinion is valued, and their voices, including the voices of their societies, the voices of their youth, are being heard, and that's what multipolarity for me is about, everyone being heard and respected.
I agree with Marie, and also I would say that multipolarity, speaking in simple words, not with high speeches, it's something about it's mutual recognition. When you recognize the right of the partner of the country to have its own interest, and they are equal, interest of one country and interest of the other country, they are equal. So it's about more just system, it's about more respectful system, and the system where the interests are more balanced, or at least trying to be more balanced, I would say so.
How about Anna?
Well, for me, multipolarity is not only a theoretical concept that we use in our scientific researches or so, but it's also a type of thinking. When we say something about bipolar world, we think about our country and the other country, the other center, more aggressive or hostile to us. But when we think of multipolar world, it's the world of connectedness, of possibilities, of different centers that are all around the Earth, and with whom we have mutual interests, mutual respect, and, well, mutual projects.
Yeah, I think it's possible to unite all our words in one meaning of the multipolarity. It's still again about the respect, about the equality, the recognition and the possibilities, what is very important.
About diversity, I haven't mentioned it yet, but diversity is important because Anna has spoken about bipolar world, but recently we've been living in a unipolar world, more something like that, and in a unipolar world, only one opinion counts, only one voice sounds good, and that's not for us. Humanity gets bigger, gets richer from the diversity, and multipolarity is all about this, about being diverse and not being diminished because of that.
Yeah, let's maybe just mention that it's diversity not in the meaning which is quite popular today in some countries. No. Yeah, it's diversity of views, let's say.
Right. So does it feel more freedom or more responsibility to you?
You know, as for me, the more freedom you have, more responsibility you have. Because in one very good movie, it was said that stronger you are, more responsible you have to be. So it's something about that. And multipolarity, it's not speaking that it's not about more free world or less free world. It's still about some balanced system, some balanced paradigm, where people and countries, because countries are the people, have more equal possibilities and another type of thinking when you respect or at least recognize the right of the person or countries for their interests. Yeah.
Now, as of today, as you know, China's President Xi Jinping is paying a state visit here to Russia. This is his actually 11th trip since taking office to Russia. Now, think about China-Russia relations in that context. I'm very curious, what is the first image or word that you have when you think of China comes to mind?
Well, for me it will be kind of childish, but I imagine Russia and China as two bears.
Two bears?
Like, one the brown bear from Russia and the panda bear from China. Well, they can seem aggressive or maybe, I don't know, angry, but still they are cute to each other. They are friendly. They are puffy and soft to touch. And I don't know. I guess we are the same.
Yes.
At the gift, we are the same. Well, we have different colors, of course, different characters, but we are the bears.
We are the bears.
Still very good and cute.
Speaking of bears, I can't avoid mentioning our most favorite bear here in Moscow. You know, we have the story that China, I don't remember how many years, but some years ago, presented to Moscow two pandas.
Yeah, two pandas. In Moscow, right?
Yeah, in
Moscow Zoo, right.
In the framework of famous China
Panda diplomacy.
Yes, panda
Wonderful.
diplomacy. So there were two pandas, male Zhuyi and female Dindin. And about 2 years ago, they managed to procreate, and they bore a very cute little child, baby girl, girl panda. So she's Chinese, and she was named Russian name Katyusha. It's very famous, you know, as in song. So Katyusha now is one of the most famous and one of the most favorite, lovable animals in the Moscow Zoo and in the whole Russia. Everyone adores her.
And I think it unites people very much because me and Maria, we're colleagues, and as many people, I know that very clearly. When we're tired of something, when we're angry of something on the work because tight schedule, a lot of things to do, we are making a panda break. We are coming to the cameras of this Moscow Zoo and looking.
Doing live broadcast.
So you have live broadcast.
In Moscow Zoo there is such option, and we are just making panda break, taking some tea. Different types of tea, especially Chinese, of course, and looking at panda and forgetting about all the problems we have, at least for this break.
Well, that's another kind of panda diplomacy here.
It developed.
We actually have a special request for the China government. If it's only possible to let her stay with us, because we know that China
at least a little bit longer.
Get the pandas back after they get to a certain age. But we root for Katyusha to stay here in Moscow because he is one of our precious symbols of Russian-Chinese friendship.
And she has a Russian soul.
Specially made for her. And Maria, what is your first impression?
Well, besides pandas, when I think about the cooperation between Russia and China, the first thing that pops up in my mind is this, colorful, very happy-filled posters of Russian-Soviet friendship. I don't know if you have seen them.
China-Soviet?
China-Soviet friendship, yes. When those pictures, those posters, they presented always such a strong and bright image of our friendship and cooperations between two nations, where one Chinese man and one Russian man, always strong, always
unity
very
is power.
smiling.
Our leaders stand near each other and looking at the same direction. It's
such good slogans that can be applied today. today and this future. In future, I hope like our friendship is as strong as steel.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
apply to nowadays as well.
those images can be, modernized a little bit and still be used in PR, in marketing.
we do
And
also
even
have
in
a lot
art,
of that.
actually, as it comes.
Yes.
Speaking about this issue, I would say that the first thing what I'm thinking about Russia and China, I think the main word, the first word, is neighbors. But I would like to develop this thing because, first of all, we were neighbors, we are neighbors, and we will be neighbors. But for example, in the Soviet tradition, where people lived much closer to each other than nowadays, your neighbor could be your brother, could be your friend, could be your colleague, could be both. A lot of people, they trust their neighbor to even care their children. That's why for me, when I'm naming Russia and China neighbors, this is much bigger than just countries which are situated to each other. It's something from this Soviet tradition, which I believe will live again, when we are neighbors, but at the same time, and then friends, partners, let's say, countries who are looking at the same direction, like these two wonderful guys from the posters.
Yeah, and speaking of this Soviet interpretation of neighbor concept, the neighbor was the one to whom you can always come and ask for help, and he would undoubtedly help you. And in case of China and Russia, I think we have the same situation. We can count on each other, we trust each other.
Yes.
This is the trust that has been built through complications and through good and bad times, but now we have it, and we should cherish it, and we should strengthen it and carry it to the future.
To add more,
really
not
good point.
only ask for help, but to celebrate some great things. I guess we can name that in all traditions, huge celebrations like birthdays or maybe, I don't know, getting married, they were celebrated by the whole neighborhood. Like the whole building, they came down, they sat down at the table and they celebrated. I guess this is the tradition we want to bring up to Russian-China cooperation, because we need to focus not only on problems, not only on hardships, but also on some bright things.
Yeah, of course, like we are
Yeah.
celebrating our shared history.
Yeah, for sure.
Nowadays.
Our shared
Yeah.
history, and our history, it's not a big secret. It was very different, but still for us it's very important the good parts of this history, and of course to remember mistakes, not to repeat them again. I think our countries now are moving in the within this approach, I would say.
And let's be honest, as young political thinkers, are there any moments in recent global events where you think our generation could handle this much better?
It's a quite complicated issue because we are young political scientists. It's our work to think and to make actions which will develop our countries, develop the ties between our countries. I would say that nowadays our generation, we were born in the much more technologically developed world, so we have much more possibilities. Much more possibilities to communicate with people from any countries, from any parts of the world, and maybe as soon as we do have this more possibilities in building dialogues, we again have more possibilities to overcome some crisis, to develop the partnerships, to develop the friendship at least. But of course we cannot do that without looking at our senior colleagues who has the thing which we don't have, experience. This is very important.
And also standing up on the shoulders of the giants.
Sure.
I'm sure you have achieved a lot of campaigns, different events, a lot of places in the world. You travel to different places to connect with other countries. Do you have any specific examples how you accomplished any events that you can solve the problem?
Yeah, actually, our center, the Center for International Interaction and Cooperation, has been created especially for this purpose, to connect people from different regions, from different backgrounds, to discuss the most pressing global issues, to find common solutions. And we do organize a lot of events, we organize contests, we organize forums, we organize programs to bring people from different regions, from Latin America, from Asia, from Africa, from Middle East. We put a special focus on the so-called global South countries who were underrepresented before, and we try to hear the opinion of those people. We try to unite them on the same platform, to let them exchange knowledge and opinions, not only with us, but among themselves, to strengthen this horizontal cooperation between youth from different countries. And it works in a very good sense, because they always are very grateful for this opportunity to hear and to be heard. That's what important.
I'm thinking of, are there any like specific story about how you let people from different countries see each other's?
You know, I remember an example. It was around, I don't remember exactly. A few years ago, we organized different round tables within one big event, which were dedicated to the education. We were trying to understand how we can develop world's education. And we united people from different countries, from all the continents, except maybe Australia. Sorry. And I was one of the moderators of this roundtable, and I was very surprised how many things we still have to discuss on an everyday basis, on a permanent basis, because, for example, there were representatives from Great Britain and from South Africa. And the person from Great Britain, he was speaking about diversity in education. Diversity not at abuse, but I mean people's diversity. While the person from South Africa, he was speaking about development of the education itself, of the education system, how we can modernize it. And such different positions, all of them can exist. But such positions are to be, first of all, said, and after that, to try to combine them, to see some real things which can be profitable for or fruitful for the education. And it's only one example of such events, and we hold it on the
Regular basis,
on the regular basis.
Yeah.
And every time we see such dialogue, I think it's very valuable.
And we strive to put people from different countries in one team. For example, in a contest, we just have finished one of our contests, The Way of Political Expert, where we put together teams of 3 people, and each of the person was from different backgrounds, from different regions. Like, for example, we have one of the winning team who has an Indian guy, a girl from Ethiopia, a guy from Belarus, and another guy from Iran. So they have different religions, different political views, but they work together for the common task, and thus this common goal unite them and bring them together no matter what, and it helps a lot.
It's really nice, yeah. How about Anna?
Well, I'd like to go back to the question where you asked about what our generation does better.
Yeah.
Well, I have such a sense that our generation is more caring. Like Lyosha said, that we have an opportunity to see much more people due to our phones, computers, and so on and so forth. And we see these people, and we learn that differences are okay. And well, seeing other people like now is not a huge problem. So we see them and we are not frightened of them, of their differences, of their variabilities. And that makes us much more accepting to some peculiarities, I guess, to some traits, different traits of people, of nations. And this can be clearly seen in the trend on volunteering. For example, in Russia, there are a lot of volunteers. Well, maybe you have seen them during during the Victory Day. They give out the ribbons, like the symbols of this day. And these are the volunteers in Russia. And
Yeah.
it's very common here.
Very
I guess
common.
in China
Yeah, I
too.
have. You have no idea how many bridges I have now. Yeah, there are people giving away in the events on the streets. I have so many.
But you know, I would like to add something just about
Yeah.
the volunteer agenda. That we have such volunteers who are working in the exhibitions on such anniversaries, but at the same time we have the volunteers, and not only from Russia, which also helps to overcome some problems like ecological problems, some tragedies which sometimes unfortunately happen. And it's wonderful when one caring agenda, that's what Anna says, can unite people not only within Russia but also from all over the world.
Well, that's wonderfully summarized here with young people thinking about multipolar world. And now let's shift gears to talk about culture. You've been to a lot of countries. Have you been to China?
Yeah, I've been once.
No,
Not
unfortunately,
yet.
not yet.
But you were learning Chinese, right? I heard of that.
That's some spoilers. Well, yeah, I was studying Chinese when I was at the university for 4 years, and it was quite an experience, may I say so. Well, but Chinese language is not only about the characters or words, it's about culture, it's about understanding the world in a different perspective. It's very much fun. Despite all the difficulties, it's so interesting. Well, wow.
How did you, what was your first encounter with Chinese? How did you come
I
up
have a
with this
great
idea?
story
learning
about
Chinese?
that. When I was at the plane from Moscow to St. Petersburg, I met a girl sitting right beside me.
Yeah.
She was learning or practicing some Chinese, and she told me that she has been learning Chinese for, I guess, 10 years by herself, not with teachers. And I asked her, is Chinese that really hard? And she said, no.
I think she overestimated a little bit.
Just a cup of tea.
It was a promotion campaign. Yeah.
And I asked her, wow, then show me something. And she started showing me some characters, like Mama, the mother in Chinese. And I thought to myself, wow, Chinese is such a logical
It's
language.
so similar
Yes,
with Russian, probably.
And then I learned that there are huge words with many meanings.
She decided to hide something from
Yeah.
you when she promoted Chinese, right?
But when I went off the plane that day, I thought to myself, well, I'm definitely going to learn Chinese.
So confident.
Yeah, I was very confident. And I did. At some points of my life, I spoke fluently.
How about you, Alex? What was some of your earliest memory of Chinese?
You know, my first memory, speaking about the culture, my first memory was when I was a kid, like 7 years old, 8 years old. After the school, as many kids in Russia, I turned on the cartoons. And again, as many boys in Russia, I liked fightings and beautiful fightings. And there was a cartoon about Jackie Chan, and also films with Jackie Chan.
About Jackie Chan.
Yeah. It was a cartoon, very popular one. I would say that I think it's even more popular in Russia than in China.
I've never heard of a cartoon.
Yeah, it was a cartoon, and of course films about that. I was a big fan of that. Of course, after that, I asked my parents, who is this guy? I know that he exists in real life. He said, they're from China. China, what is that? How this country lives. And after that, I fortunately had the possibility to visit China. And I visited China. We spent there, I don't remember that clearly, but around 2 or 3 weeks. And it was a wonderful time because we could, at the same time, had some rest with wonderful nature of China, and also to meet Chinese culture, Chinese people. We spoke a lot with the local people. We've seen such a wonderful places.
Where did you go?
We go to Hainan at first to have some rest after after the
perfect
year.
vacation
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, and after that we spent more than a week in Beijing, and in some parts near to Beijing. Sorry, I don't forget the names because I haven't learned Chinese, and it would be a problem for me. Of course, I visited the Great Walls really great.
Great one. Really great.
No
Yeah,
lie.
and
Yeah.
and we accept
The
it.
name speaks for itself.
Definitely. And for me it was absolutely unique experience because I think I can learn. I can read 1,000 books about China, but when I touch it myself, when I speak to the people like us speaking now, it's absolutely wonderful. And then, of course, when we started to learn political science, we started to study more of political than a cultural. But in the cultural aspect, it was wonderful.
Wonderful. Maria, what about you? Like
Well,
your earliest memory?
Yeah, mine was similar to Alexis. I mean, in the childhood, I was also a fan of Jackie Chan movies and of Disney cartoon Mulan, you know. It's kind of
Wonderful.
an American
Yeah, I love it.
perspective of Chinese culture, but yet it was like a touch. And later in high school, I started to get to know dramas, first Korean and then Chinese. And
Dramas?
yeah, and I like them very much. The romantic TV series with many handsome Chinese men.
Shall I leave you for some time? Do you need me here after that?
Yeah, high competition you have from our neighbors.
It will be just
For
an
sure.
equal competition in multiple worlds.
What kind of TV dramas do you watch here?
Oh, well, I actually don't remember the names already, but we do. I did watch a lot at my high school. Later at university, I just didn't have much time for that. But yeah, that was a good experience. And then we studied history at the university. We studied political science. It was another side of China, unknown for me in the childhood. But yet the depths of culture, the depths of history, it always mesmerizes me and pushes me to learn more, to discover more of China.
And speaking of TV dramas and shows, there's been a recent movie co-produced by China and Russia together called
Red Silk, right?
Red Silk,
Yeah, we
How
heard
was it?
about that. As
I
I know.
was going to invite you to.
Yeah. Actually, you have already invited me, but it was yesterday. So yeah, we didn't have a time to look at it, but we seen such a good marks of that, and the trailer is wonderful. So we are looking forward to
It's not
see
airing in
it.
China right now, but a lot of people are waiting for it.
Yeah,
Very awaited, much
I've
awaited.
read that Russians are listing it as one of the most awaited
Big
movies of 2025.
Wow, comparing with Russian films as
Yeah,
well.
for sure.
Again, competition.
Even though we have
Not
many
competition,
great
it's a
movies.
common film.
I'm joking, of course.
So maybe can you give us a brief introduction of the movie? What's it about? Because as far as we know, it's not just a movie. It's a sign of creative collaboration between the two countries, right?
It's a story adventure. The events are going in the far east of Russia and in China, and the heroes, I don't remember what they're looking for, but yeah, it's all about adventure. It's very blockbuster style movie that Russian cinema lacks a bit, and Chinese, they're famous. Actually, Jackie Chan was a pioneer, but Chinese, they're famous for such kind of movies, and here we can learn a lot from you, from your cinema production.
Well, actually, it's a good combination of both styles of making movies, because Russians, we make movies to think about, to learn something deep inside our souls.
Something
to,
very dramatic,
Yeah, to
especially,
dig
yeah.
into the hard
The
senses of
suffering,
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not only.
Well,
Please.
most people.
We're
But,
being too depressive now.
But Chinese movies, they pay much more attention to details, to the decorations, the style, the costumes. Well,
Historical accuracy.
Yeah, accuracy, and this combination of Russian soul and Chinese accuracy is wow.
Perfect combination
Yeah, perfect
together.
combination for sure.
Yeah, so we are looking forward to see the movie by ourselves and embrace
Looking
it.
forward to see it. They're putting on a Chinese version of it, and looking forward to see it early. I heard it will be just this year.
Yeah.
We're expecting it.
Looking forward.
Yeah. So do you see any similar collaboration like this? Creative collaboration can genuinely bring people closer?
Sure. I strongly believe that also cultural collaboration is a very big part and very important part. of strengthening the ties between countries and between people. Because when we're speaking about collaboration or cooperation, the first thing which comes to mind is something about the economy, something about politics. Very serious, serious people are coming to the table, sitting like that, and speaking about very important matters, surely. But when we're speaking about the common people, of course, this is culture, this is language, as Maria told. This is films, this is art. For example, I know that very clearly. My sister is a big expert in the art industry, and she told me that after many Western galleries and Western exhibitions, art exhibitions, went away from Russia, we started to invite the galleries and exhibitions from the Asian countries, as I know from China as well. But we need to develop it, because as soon as we will more understand each other, thinking of each other, the way of thinking of each other, it will help us to understand each other more and to be closer to each other as well.
And I've heard that Russian theater play Anna Karenina had a huge success in China, and that makes me think, why don't we share our cultural experience or historical experience with each other? For example, we have a great Russian poet, Alexander Pushkin, and why don't we introduce to China the history of Pushkin, and maybe take something from Chinese history, some Chinese poets, ancient Chinese poets, and bring them to our culture, see how our people will view them, and learn about each other a bit more. Why not?
Why not? Yeah. That's great, because Chinese people love Pushkin. Love Pushkin. Yeah. And I saw a lot of statues of Pushkin here. On the streets of Moscow. At least I think I saw two. One of himself, and the other one him with his wife.
His wife,
in a fountain. That's very beautiful.
He's considered the founder of modern Russian language.
Yes. Beautiful. Really a country of arts. So speaking of that, we're talking about creative collaboration projects. Now, if you had full creative control and a decent amount of money, decent budget, to launch a China-Russia youth project, what would it be? What do you want to do?
Quite good conditions, I would say. Limitless money.
It would be wonderful.
I didn't say
That
limitless.
would be wonderful. I heard limitless.
Actually, we haven't done much in terms of common historical heritage, because we have a shared history that actually not many Chinese nor Russians know in detail. Besides, the Second World War, which we shared, which we won together, we have lots of, I don't know, for example, the example of Siberian town Kakhta, which in 19th century became the world's tea capital because of tea trade with China, and one of the richest towns in Russia. It was very nice. And we have Dalyani, we have so much more to discover, and we can create some, I don't know, for example, like we did, my team did with Serbia, when we brought together people from Russia and Serbia and organized for them the quest Russian-Serbian Common Heritage here in Moscow, to go to different sites of city and to discover how Serbia influenced this or that part of Russian history. And so we could do the same with China and Russia, for example, discover some places, some cities where the trace of Russian and Chinese influence exists in both cultures. And this is one part, and the second part, of course, is language. Because if I would have a real limitless budget,
I did say that.
Okay. I'd be happy to introduce the lessons of Chinese language to each Russian school, because now we lack this understanding of Chinese culture and history, because we lack the understanding of Chinese language. Even some tourists in Russia get lost many times, often, in China, because people don't speak that much of Russian and English. Not that much, but in Russia here we don't speak as much English language as well, actually, in the regions. So this is an obstacle. With the artificial intelligence, I hope we can overcome it faster, but yet if we could introduce some such thing as Chinese language lessons in Russia and Russian language lessons in China, it would be super.
AI is a great help of me getting around here.
Yes,
in
and
Russia.
especially DeepSeek AI, yeah, which is wonderful work. Which wonderful
It's
works.
very popular in Russia.
Very
actually.
popular.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a hit. It's a big hit because we don't have a direct access to ChatGPT,
Yes,
and DeepSeek is in many ways even better.
And it develops
What do
very
you-
fastly, right?
What do you like usually use with it?
Actually, I would say, fortunately, AI can be used for different tasks. As technical one, when you need to fastly do some technical work and you don't have the time for that,
you know,
or for searching some information, which is very
Yeah,
important.
I use it all the time actually. I use DeepSeek all the time. I have forgotten Google completely.
Yeah, for
Every
sure.
question I have, I just go to DeepSeek and
DeepSeek,
like,
yeah.
how do you cook eggs? I don't know.
Multipolarity works.
And also a great tip when you have this problem of a blank page, when
Yeah.
you do not know what to write, you just write something in DeepSeek, you just copy this, and from that you get your own mind
Yeah.
onto the
Yeah.
topic, and you then start writing just from
Yeah.
the point.
Yeah,
Idea.
a perfect brainstorming tool. Getting back to the topic. Yeah.
Yeah, giving back to the topic, if still we have limitless money, I will insist on that.
Okay.
I'm joking. I think the main thing is, which is to be done in this case, this is exchanges, and again exchanges, because I strongly believe that this is the main instrument how to develop the ties, the interaction between countries and people. As in my experience, I could learn, as I said before, many books about China, but when I came there, it was a much more, let's say, useful experience. So if I had some money, okay, at least some money, I would organize different exchanges. And when we're speaking about this form of interaction exchanges, many people think that it's only for students. It can be different. We can make, of course, educational exchanges, cultural exchanges, exchanges of different professionals and from different specialities. Because, for example, in Russia, young person, according to the law, this is the person from 18 to 35 age. Most of the people after
Same as
20,
China.
yes,
Yeah.
18 that's
to
good.
35.
Most of the people after entering university or during studying in the university, it's 20, 21, 19, they start working as well.
Yes.
So, for example, if I am a 30-year specialist in some area, in political science, medical, doesn't matter. And if I have such exchange program, when I can come to China to take your experience, share my experience, and the same thing from China to Russia, I think this is the most useful thing, and we shall definitely develop this form of interaction.
I think we should organize a car specialist exchange program.
Oh, definitely yes. As soon as I'm a Chang'an driver,
yeah. Like we had that.
I have a Chinese
Chang'an.
car Chang'an, and please invite some
Chang'an.
special. Yeah, I think in Chinese it's Chinang, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think exchange programs of the automobile specialists would be very good.
Drive to China. Anna?
As for me, I guess, in cultural sense, we have made great progress, I guess, because 2024 and 2025 are the exchange years of culture in China and Russia, and in this sense, we do not have that much to do. Well, you've said that there is a lot of work still, but a lot has been done already. For me, we in Platform Dagoria make practical-oriented projects, and these projects that is with unlimited budget and unlimited creativity, I guess, would be also practically oriented. And we miss out the exchange in social
Social practices?
yeah, in social practices. This exchange would make lives in both China and Russia much better. For example, Chinese infrastructure is great. And I guess we have a lot of builders from China around
Yes.
Moscow.
And the opposite,
Yeah,
actually.
in the
yeah.
opposite
Right.
direction. Or for example, at some point of history, China took some educating experience from USSR, and then we can also get some experience from them in order to bring it to our country. So I guess this exchange would be much more better for our countries.
Yeah, so mutual exchanges on every aspect.
A lot of different
basically.
exchanges.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for all the energy and stories here today. You know, we often talk about politics in big formal terms, but today we realize it's actually conversation like this that's connecting us with real people and real curiosity. And now from Red Square, I believe it's somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere there.
From Red Square to a roundtable like this, it's clear that the next chapter of global cooperation isn't just being, you know, in the high-end, high-level meeting rooms, sitting like that, as you were mentioned. It's being imagined right here by our generation, young generation. So thank you so much again for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
I had a really great time here, and thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you on the next episode of The Hype. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.